Okay, here with Loui Fazakerley after the 2-0 defeat to Grimsby. Frustration, everything, mixed emotions. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, very frustrated. The second half, once again, like Barnet, it was a good reaction. I thought we were the better team in the second half, but you can't afford to go 2-0 down. You can't wait to go 2-0 down before you give a reaction. So that's a frustrating thing. We've got to start the game as we started the second half.
I said to Jake just before, as the management, was it your instructions that look, Grimsby are going to come at us really fast, really quick? Was that in the back of your mind? And why was the slow start? What can you put it down to?
We before the game we take the individual units aside and we give them their instructions. We take the back four away, we take the midfield four away, and then we take the front two away. And we give them their individual instructions. We give the boys the game plan. And it's I don't understand why it takes them so long to actually carry out the instructions we give them. We went and watched Grimsby against Dover. We saw where they were weak, and it took us too long to actually try and expose that weakness. And with the penalty incident, that's kind of the instructions we gave them. They were susceptible to that kind of ball in behind. We've got two big lads up there with pace. So we gave the instructions, and it took them too long to actually carry them out. We spoke to them in there, and we've got to work on things in the training ground. You've got to refine things, but the main thing is them just actually carrying out the instructions we give them.
After they scored the first goal, I did feel as though we grew into the game, and at the park end there was an incident where obviously the linesman has given a penalty, but it's been overruled by the referee. Firstly, what's your opinions on the incident?
Yeah, to me it was a clear penalty. And like you say, the linesman said in his eyes it was a penalty. I don't understand why he doesn't put his flag up and actually give it. And yeah, like you say, the referee decided to overrule it. So that's very frustrating because it's a goal scoring opportunity and it could potentially be a red card there. So that would change the game, obviously.
Yeah, I was going to say, just as like goals change games, that changed games, and obviously they then come back into it, and to concede from a corner must be ever so frustrating.
Yeah. You can roll that back a little bit further, and Roscoe gets fouled on the halfway line, and that's just very frustrating. It's a clear foul for me. Referee doesn't give it. They go down the other end. They get a corner and. Yeah, a free header. You can't afford to give anyone free headers. We spoke about that goal in the changing room, and we addressed that. It's terrible marking, free header. So yeah, it's just frustrating we didn't get the free kick, and frustrating that you got a free header.
It's a bit of a cliche, but when you're down there, you don't get the rub of the green, and has that been the case today?
Yeah, you can talk about bad luck. You can talk about you make your own good luck, but. Like I say, it's just frustrating the boys didn't take on board the instructions we gave them to start the game. They did in the second half, but by then you're 2-0 down.
Yeah, was it a case of, do you think Grimsby just let us play a little bit more, and or was you pleased with the spirit and the fight back with the players?
It'll be a combination of the two, yeah. But Grimsby 2-0 up, so they take their foot off the gas a little bit. But the boys could have given up, but they didn't. I thought we was by far the better team in the second half, but we just didn't quite create anything clear cut really. So it's something to work on. We had a new partnership up top, and they've only had one training session together, so it's going to take time for them to gel. We haven't exactly got time, but I would imagine that with the extra training sessions this week and the next game, it will get better. Can only get better.
The back line had a different shape to it. We had Harris at the back, also alongside, obviously with no Berry, so we had Osborne at the back as well. What was the reasons for that? Was it injuries or? Yeah,
exactly. Sam Berry actually had an injury to his knee. Bushy's been suspended and Jamal's out, so we've got a lack of centre halves. We wanted to actually keep the back three, but because of the personnel, you can't really fit square pegs into round holes. So we decided the back four was the best suit for the personnel that we had. So we went with Reece Harris left back. He did more than a good enough job there. He's a good attacking threat from there as well. He's an honest player. He works up and down. I thought Harry Osborne came in and did very well. I thought it was a very good performance from him. So like I say, it was a matter of personnel. We decided to change the system because of personnel.
You had Fagan on the bench. You wasn't tempted to start him at the back at all?
Yeah, it was an option. Something we thought about, but we decided to go with Harry over Zach, and that was a decision we made.
A couple of on the loan market front. Charlie Penny's now back with the club, is he? I believe.
No. We tried to recall him for the Barnet game, but the terms and conditions didn't allow us to do that. We couldn't do it before 28 days. So that was frustrating, and we had to get Tashan in. And because we got Tashan in, and now we got Roscoe in, it makes it very difficult for Charlie to be involved. So we've actually allowed him to go back out to Kingstonian and finish off season, getting himself some games. We've got the ability to recall him if we need to.
Obviously, Ross Lafayette has rejoined the club. Bit of a coup for the club after he left to go to Luton. You must be delighted to have him back on board.
Yeah, massively delighted. You know, he obviously, we all know what he can do. He's had a couple of great seasons with us. It hasn't unfortunately gone his way this season, and he hasn't featured very much. So you could see today he wasn't quite as sharp as we remember him, or not as sharp as he could be, but he hasn't played much. So you know, you've got to understand that. You know, but even saying that, you know, he was a handful. He was a handful up there. You know, he won the flick on for the penalty incident, and he competed for everything. And we know the quality that he can bring. You know, he just needs to get a run of games. He needs to get some more minutes under his belt, a couple more training sessions with us. And you know, he gets the chances, and I'm sure he will score.
Where are we at with Ben Jefford at the moment? Are we likely to see him in a Welling shirt again, or is he going to stay with Ebbsfleet?
Well, at the moment he is with Ebbsfleet, getting game time, and yeah, we can call him back within 24 hours. So that's something that we need to talk about. But you know, regarding the actual budget, we are restricted. You know, to how many players we bring back in, call back in, because of wages and things like that. So the decisions we make to bring in Roscoe, bring in Tashan, you know, and bring in Harry, it affects the ability for us to recall all of the loan signings, but it's a possibility.
Unfortunately, results didn't go for us today. Alfreton got a last-minute equaliser. 7 points behind now. Game's running out. How can we get out of relegation trouble, Lee?
We have to win games. You know, we have to win 2 games and get a draw at least to claw back those 7 points. So you know, you've got to pull out results no matter who you're playing against. It doesn't really matter who it is. This stage of the season, the situation we're in, we have to pull out results. We have to pull out wins. So you know, the same approach when we first came in. We've got to take it one game at a time, and we've got to look forward to the next game and look to get 3 points.
And obviously that starts with a big Easter weekend, Woking away. No better place to try and get a win to kickstart the run, as you say. What's your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, you know, we're going to work on that. You know, on a training field Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Me, Matt, and Paul. We're going to sit down. We're going to put our game plan together, and we're going to approach that game. You know, like we've approached every game so far. You know, every game's a cup final. You know, we just take it one game at a time. We're going to go into that game and look to get the 3 points.
And lastly, are you fit yourself? Obviously you've been injured?
Yeah, no, I'm getting there slowly. I actually thought I tore my Achilles in training quite a few weeks ago. As it happened, I tore a muscle in my lower calf, the soleus, and I'm still feeling it even now. But I have been taking part in training the last week, and I'm feeling better. But I'm not ready to be involved just yet.
Okay, cheers, Loui. Thank you.
All right, cheers.
I wasn't too sure at the time, but I've just seen footage of it now, and it seems like it was a penalty, definitely. The guys tugged at him and his legs caught him at the back as well and brought him down, so really it's a Stonewall penalty.